16th verse. Akrita buddhitvat and durmatihi, are they synonyms?
Synonyms means same vibhakti is what you're asking. You can say, yeah, you can say something. Synonyms means what? Yeah, one is a noun, another is Panchami. One is Ekavachana, Prathama Vibhakti, another is Panchami Vibhakti. So,
Akrita buddhitvat is Panchami.
correct.
And durmatihi is
Prathama Vibhakti.
Pratama.
Saha, Durmatihi.
I was just curious, how would the Anvaya be of this verse?
Okay, let's try. Tatra evam sati. Okay, evam sati. Yaha kevalam atmanam kartaram tu pashyati. So, akrita buddhitvat pashyati, right? Kevalam atmanam kartaram akrita buddhitvat pashyati. Saha durmatihi ena pashyati. Saha
Sah
durmatihi.
durmat, Saha durmatihi na pashyati.
Correct. That is the last fragment. Saha durmatihi pashyati. Because yaha is there in front, which has to have a saha. Na pashyati, and what? Kim na pashyati? Atmanam na pashyati. Akartaram atmanam na pashyati. Kevalam atmanam na pashyati. Can fill up.
Saha durmatihi na pashyati, meaning ityukte saha he.
Yeah, durmati is samanadikaranam to saha. It is referring to the person, not to the buddhi. Dushta matihi yasya saha. The one who has that kind of a buddhi, dushta buddhi, is called durmatihi.
He does not see. Dhanyavad.
You know, in our Panchatantra, there used to be a story. We used to read that, or somewhere. There was two people. One is called Subuddhihi, another was Durbuddhihi. Something like
Kubuddhihi. Kubuddhihi or Durbuddhihi.
Kubuddhihi, Subuddhihi. There are two names. Something like
Like that, Sumati and that Dhruva's mother,
Durmati.
Suniti and Suniti.
Suniti and Surichi.
Yeah. Yeah, Premaji, go ahead.
Guruji, according to my notes and what we studied about the sheets of the koshas, I have a question. In the previous class, we had read that, O Arjuna, know from me the following 5 factors required for the accomplishment of all actions. They are mentioned in Vedanta, which is the culmination of all actions, actions emanating from the bodies, Annamaya Kosha, etc. The 5th one is Devam, which you had mentioned. I'd like a little bit more clarity on that.
On Devam. Yeah, Devam is a factor. See, when you look at the things we do, suppose I want to grow a plant outside my house. This Tulsi plant is there. So we have to get a Tulsi sapling from somewhere and then put it there and then pour water on it, put some nourishment there. All this I did. I can say I did. But definitely I did not create the Tulsi sapling. Tulsi sapling was created, it was available somewhere, and for whom I asked somebody to get one. So that guy got it. Neither he created the Tulsi sapling. And who created the Tulsi sapling? okay, Daivam only. Then the next day I get up in the morning after 3 days, it is grown about 2 inches taller. And 2 inches taller, who did it? I can't say I did it. When I was sleeping, some work was going on. And that work was not done by me. And so that is also Daivam only. And so that Daivam is constantly working. All the laws of this universe is all Daivam. And so Daivam is also a factor in this karma phalam game. So it's a fact. That is a way to appreciate Daivam. Daivam is the known and the unknown set of laws of the universe. The operating system. Sometimes I use the word operating system for these kids when I talk. What is in your computer is owned by Bill Gates. What is outside the computer is our Ishvara, Bhagavan's work. And even Bill Gates does namaskar to Bhagavan. Also it.
Okay.
So does that help very
Thank you,
much?
Guruji. Yes, it helps in the sense that we were talking about karma phalam, which happens as you do different things, even pujas or rituals that you do. And then when it is offered to God, to Ishvara, then it does not exactly, it helps in the process of your growth because there is an offering happening instead of having the kartrutva, I'm doing this, I'm getting the result. So that also you mentioned in the previous class that offering itself is again by grace according to your punya by equation. So today it made it a little bit more clearer instead of thinking of it as sheets, but it is the identification of the locus, like you said, where it emanates from. It's much more easier to understand.
Yes, very
Thank
much.
you, Guruji. Thank you.
Yeah, Maheshji, go ahead.
In the sloka 17, we said that there's a statement that though he slays these people, does not kill anyone in spite of killing these people. That's what we translated. So Arjuna is not a sannyasi, or he is not. So he accrues results of his action, isn't it? I mean, some karma, whatever he does, he's going. Suppose he indeed kills others, he enjoys the kingdom, or he gets himself killed. One of the two possibilities. That's how we say that. How is that statement that he doesn't think? Because he's not like a sannyasi where he has, ownership of the action nor the results. You say that, okay, we are dharma, you need your kshatriya, you do it, but still ownership, isn't it?
So the question,
I mean, because this context came all of a sudden, so
the question is what?
Question is why, I mean, Arjuna accrues the phala of his action, isn't it?
Right. So yes. So what can be the phalam of? Suppose he killed. Suppose there was war and they won the war. Okay, they won the war. And they did win the war. So what is the result of that? What does the story say?
I mean, he gained kingdom.
He gained the kingdom, etc. All right. So victory. Victory was granted to Pandavas. So that's a karma phalam. Now, there's also phalam because killing people is there. That's a Ghora karma is there. There's also one story that they had to pay some kind of a papa karma comes due to this. And unless Prayaschitta is done, the Papa Karma won't go. A story like that is there. But the bottom line is, yes, they got the karma, Drishta Palam is there, they got the Drishta Palam. And, but the question is, how does it impact Arjuna as a Bhokta? Is the question. As a Karta, Nahanti, if you say, Hanti means it is as though the impact of all this killing on Arjuna is as though Arjuna has not killed anybody.
Yeah. So my question is that the reason it is not impacting him or not come to him is because he did his dharma as a Kshatriya and he did his duty. Is that the reason? Is that the logic?
No, that's not the logic. What is the logic? What is the logic?
It's at 3 levels, Jayakumarji. I think at the level of Atma, you are actionless. As a subtle body, I mean, in the chapter initially they explain is like the subtle bodies for Bhishma and Drona doesn't matter, like they have done punya and they'll go to better lokas. And then at the level of his dharma as a kshatriya, he will still have to do it because for dharma, he has to do it. That's the way Sri Krishna explains it. Here,
I
if
thought
he's
that's what I'm
and
saying,
he's doing
duty.
it like that, then he will not accrue any results of his action. It depends on which kind of state he did it is. If he's at a level of Glani, he will not. But if he is at the level where he thinks he's a karta, then it will affect. It is, and plus Hanti is the not, like you said, it is any action. Any action you do thinking as a karta will bind you and you become a bhokta also. But if you do any action without that kind of, when you have all that sadhana chatushtaya sampatti and you know that you are the atma and you're not the karta, then it will not affect you. But you have to be at that stage.
But any action is a qualified action, right? Qualified in the sense which are mandated by dharma. Like you can, I mean, just like what happened to Trump, that is not a dharma or something. You cannot say that.
He's very adharmic, definitely.
Yeah. So that is what I'm saying. So
here, what you said is not correct. Because he did the dharma of a kshatriya, he is not affected. No, that is not correct. Dharma of a kshatriya, the person will get punyam and papam will be there, but depending on the laws.
Yes. The only way you don't get punyam and papam is if you're akarta.
Karta. Now, karta, punyam and papam will not be there for an akarta. Okay, number one. That's what he's talking about here. Absolutely taintless. Okay. Even though the society might say this, that, and all, they may give capital punishment to a person and say, oh, this guy did crime, etc. This guy will say, so be it. So be it. What Jnani will say, so be it. What the society does to me is irrelevant to me. I am akarta, I'm done my job. Over. Walk away from there. Okay. So here it is not a relatively free, not relative freedom. What you're talking about, Maheshji, is relative freedom. Relative freedom means doing what is to be done. Brahmana is there. The big ritual is going on. Brahmana is doing rituals. The Kshatriya is getting ready for war, having worshipped at this homa, and the other people are all there doing their jobs. Supply chain is working. Everything. So many different people are doing this yajna.
No, what I meant, Jayakumarji, was that the difference between what Arjuna or any other in their group people did versus somebody who shoots a person on the street, what is the difference? The difference is this is a dharma yuddha, or it is because of that context, because of the history, what all happened and all. It was not like a spontaneous something, go and kill people. Lot went before that, and then it's culminated in nothing other than no other option but the war kind of thing. So as a secretary, I had to do a duty. So that's what I
Like
was
a
saying.
judge
So, but then otherwise, how do you
executing,
differentiate between a person like Arjuna who goes on war and a person who shoots somebody on the street?
Okay, so your question has nothing to do with jnana. Your question has to do with dharma, context, etc. You answered your question anyway. Context is what determines what's right or wrong.
Yeah.
One person,
like a judge
So is that the
like
reason he's not
executing a
accruing
criminal.
this thing?
Like a judge
Because
executing a criminal, it is his duty because he has to remove that kind of activities from the community.
Right,
So
right.
that they have some protection.
Right. So Maheshji, what's your question again now?
no, I'm saying is that what makes him not bound by his act?
No,
Or
that's not. No, that is there. That there is a relative non-binding that comes from that context. By doing one's duty, the cop does the person's duty and walks away, regardless of what happens to them, etc. Okay, that gives karma yoga. What did he say in the 5th chapter? Yet sankhya prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate. Hey, what strength one gets by jnanam? Even by karma yoga, one gets it. So don't ignore karma yoga. Like that, Krishna had said that to Arjuna, because Arjuna wants to take me to Rishikesh. I'll come along with you. Then no, don't come along with me and all. You do what you're doing itself will strengthen you. You don't, you know, like that he had said that. Therefore, that is relative, Maheshji. That is relative. But relative what? That's relative. Relative uninvolvement. Asangatvam. Relative. But here, absolute asanga. Jnanam only can give absolute. So here he's talking about jnanam. What you're talking about is contrasting that with the relative.
no, but how he gets asangatva? How he acquires asangatva? On what basis?
In that when doing one's dharma.
No, in this context of in the war, there's no asangatvam. Sangatvam is there. There's no asangatvam. Suppose I do it, without any fruits or without reaping the fruits or saying that's what uninvolved. That's what we say asangatvam. But here, he's going to enjoy the fruits of the outcome of this conflict.
Karma phalam
My
coming
question
is
is
not,
when
karma phalam coming is not the same as asangatva. Karma phalam will be there and whenever karma
will
is
be
there.
there. Yes.
Asangatvam is sticking to the karma phalam is asangatva. So
Correct. I mean, so I'm trying to contrast the same person, somebody shooting on scene, say, yeah, I'm not attached to that thing. You can't say that. So I'm kind of struggling to understand this.
yeah, correct. You're talking about dharma. You're talking about somebody who wants to kill somebody uses Bhagavad Gita and says, Krishna
Yeah.
said,
So
therefore I'm going on a shooting spree.
I mean, for him, how he's not bound by that action, what made him that? Bound by action.
What
Not
made
bound
him
by
that is the knowledge of Atma. That Atma is free. Atma cannot be bound at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Jaykumar ji, sorry to interrupt. Can we say that in second chapter, when Bhagavan says, Yayenam veti hantaram, yaschainam manyate hatam, Ubautau na vijanitaha, nayam hanti na hanyate, then followed with na jayate, there also hanyate anyamane. So there he talks about the nature of Atma to Jiva. Arjuna is Jiva. Now in the 18th chapter, he has matured enough to identify himself. He is not a Jiva, he is a Atma. So in that way, he says that the vision of the karma phala, he is not attached to. Can we say that? There he is as a Jiva, he is addressing. Here in the 18th chapter, he is as a matured, he thinks himself not Jiva, he is a Atma.
So we'll ask Maheshji, what is it? Ask him to ask the question again. Let's see what he says. We may not be
No, no,
answering his question at all.
yeah, my
So-
my point was that, I mean, second chapter we said Atma cannot be killed, Atma cannot be, by fire, wind, water, all those things we said. That is to drive home the point that Atma is eternal, Atma cannot be destructed and all that. But that doesn't mean you can kill someone and go scot-free.
So what is your question?
We understand. So we said, don't grieve on somebody who is about to die or going to die, because everybody, this is a temporary things. We are not, you are not this, you had previous births and you don't remember, I remember, all those things Krishna said. But that is to drive home the knowledge of Atma. That I understand. But my question is related to what grants Akrititvam to Arjuna in this context. That is what I'm saying.
Jnanam, only Jnanam grants Akritam to Arjuna.
Jnanam.
That's
No,
no
but then
relation.
anybody, Jagamarji, anybody can go and kill anybody and say, I am a jnani.
No, without jnanam, there is a difference between
1 minute,
his
Rukmini ji,
own-
Rukmini ji, 1 minute, please. Akrit, no. Anybody can say, anybody can. That's what I also can say. Easy equal to
Yeah,
MC.
so that's what I'm saying. So
I can say easy equal to MC square, but I don't know anything about E or M or C or square. Nothing. I know nothing. Somebody says, what is a bit difference between? There is a big difference between what somebody says and what somebody knows. Okay. You are asking somebody may use Bhagavad Gita to kill somebody.
no, I'm not saying that. I am saying for even in this, I'm saying in this context, he's not a sannyasi, he has not taken a sannyasi, what you call, role or whatever. He's still,
Grihastha.
Grihastha and doing an action because he's his duty. So I'm saying what is that which makes these not bind him? The result, this action does not bind him.
Jnanam.
I know it's jnanam. I know you say jnanam. I understand that. But my point is that, I mean, we have also learned all this last few years, right? But we are not jnani yet. At least I am not. But because I know Atma and all, I understand. But as in Katha they said, even Devas don't understand. so and it is a very fine thing. It's like walking on a sword and all that kind of stuff. Yama said. So it is like you have to get that all that karma yoga, right? All this not attachment, nothing. I am not looking for a thing. Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Ishvara Prasad, all those things. I don't know whether Arjuna at this stage is in that level. So otherwise, I mean, knowing Atma, I mean, at least most of us in the class will say that, okay, yeah, I know Atma is indestructible. Having studied this for this long, that doesn't mean we are a jnani, we can say, I don't know, that is my thinking. That's so that I'm just thinking, what is the difference? What gave him the license to do what he did, which is his dharma, and not be bound by the action?
Yeah. License anybody can give. You don't need Shastram to give
But
license.
jnanam is, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's much higher level of jnanam than.
So
Maybe.
license anybody can give. But then
The only difference I can see is one is a dharma, he's doing according to dharma, and having tried various other things, unable to go.
What this shows, I'll tell you what this shows. This shows dharma has limitations. Look at Mahatma Gandhi and look at Veer Savarkar and all. You look at their history. Immediately somewhere they'll be reading Bhagavad Gita in between. What does Bhagavad Gita got to do with protecting India and kicking the British out? Please tell me. It has a lot to do. You know why? Because People are involved, death is involved, a lot of killing is involved. Should I do this? Should I not do this? And so I'm sure they had to rely on Bhagavad Gita, rely on this Atma, Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Puranaha, Na Hanyate Hanyamane Sharire. That is what gave them the strength to do what they did. It shows the limitations of Dharma. Dharma is that the Mahatma Gandhi and Veer Savarkar need not be taught all these things. Why they should study
I
Krishna?
have a statement, Jaykumarji. Even
Huh?
if he did not have a jnanam and still did it as a karma yoga, he will at least get chitta shuddhi, right? I mean, papam punyam is adrushtam. He might have gotten it or not gotten it. Nobody knows because it's not mentioned. But even if we do is as karma yoga, it's still an achievement because you have chitta shuddhi. You don't have that much shoka about, like you have done it as a arpana to Ishvara. That still gives you that kind of peace of mind and things wherein you know what, you might not be at that level, but still it's an achievement.
That's it. Karma Yoga, of course. Karma Yoga is very important. So doing one's duty is enough. That is more than enough for for leading a very fulfilled life. Very fulfilled. Karma Yoga. So
I mean, like people, soldiers go and fight because that is their duty. They're required to do. They kill people. They may, many things can happen. And still we say, we don't call all the soldiers papi or something. In fact, on the opposite, we give medals and, shower things for protecting whatever. Because he's supposed to be doing a dharma. So even if it is unprovoked or provoked war or whatever. Same thing in any law enforcement and all that. But I'm just saying that jnanam is okay, I understand, but all these...
no. That's a condescending statement. Jnanam is
No.
okay, I understand, is a
No,
condescending.
jnanam okay. I'm saying is knowing that Atma is indestructible and knowing Atma is, from a self, like I'm not afraid of death because I know Atma is, and this is only a shariram which will fall off. That is the learning I had.
That is jnanam. Jnanam is like light against darkness. So when jnanam is there, you won't say, "Oh, it's jnanam." That's okay. Jnanam is not
I'm not saying okay. What I meant is that it gives me a different perspective on my body or my life and things like
It more than perspective also. Perspective is when you study the Gita, there is samanya jnana, there is samanya jnanam, there is vishesha jnana. Samanya jnanam is like saying you and I know E is equal to MC square. That's
that. No, that's
samanya
not.
jnana. That is samanya jnana. But we don't know the details. We don't know what is all the E is equal to. Where does this equation come from? Nothing we know. That we don't have vishesha jnana. Samanya jnana we all have about that particular statement. Same thing. We start our study by getting samanya jnanam of Atma.
Yeah, okay.
Jayate mriyate samanya
Yeah.
jnanam. Samanya jnanam will not cut it. Samanya jnanam will give me the inspiration to study further.
Correct.
Until what? Until I gain vishesha jnanam.
Yeah.
Vishesha jnanam. Therefore, we should not confuse the two. We have to.
No. I'm saying is the way, like now that we are reaching towards the end of Kathopanishad and all, so far, at least my understanding has been that even though I understand Atma, I understand there's a lot more to it because I think in somewhere I read that you should always be, all this karma, karma yoga to practice in life, in our life, is a difficult thing, to go always assuming that everything we do is towards God and to everything I get is Ishvara prasadam and all that. It is not that easy because in our
I've met many people who have no study exposure to Shastra. They don't know all these Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, and all they don't know.
Right.
Shankaracharya's work, nothing they know. But they know, I watch them. They are very good when it comes to the relationships and all. Children are there, they are working somewhere, etc. You ask them about their children, yeah, they're there, they're doing okay. And then that's about it. And when something happens to children, they said they know how to take care of it. Or they will take care of it. They're on their own.
Yeah.
And my duties are over. I need to study Shastram now. That also one person said somewhere in Rishikesh. And so
Yeah.
they are very clear about that they grow out of stuff. Growing out, family was meant for a purpose, and then they grow out of family. And then each is on their own, and the duties are over. My duty now is to study the Shastra. One person said that. Other people may not know Shastra at all. They're fine. They said, I'm fine, and I'll do whatever help I have to do, but otherwise, there's nothing to be done. Krita Krityaha, they are. There's nothing to be done. Nothing more to be done for my fulfillment anymore. Look at that. And they may not have much at all. They don't have much, in fact. How? Without Vedanta, where did they get all this from? So it's not difficult. Actually speaking, it's not difficult. We have to tell ourselves.
Okay, some people may have it, but what I'm saying is, most of the people, I mean, look at it. I mean, I spent so many months in Nananani, still people are at their age also, they are all in the accumulation stage. So, so, so anyway, I mean, you might have, I'm sure you might have come across Jagmohan the same thing, since you have been living there for a long time. But my point is that it is, we, to go from whatever our Samanya Jnanam to Vishesha Jnanam, how do we go? I mean, what is when you say
Karma Yoga,
more?
Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasam. Don't expect magical answers from me, by the way.
No, but Shravanam Mananam of what we learned or something more? That's
yeah,
my question.
what we learned. What's going to come is not going to be anything very dramatically different. Going to be within the realm of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And so continue to build on what we've learned and continue to, shift attitudes where there is an opportunity. Continue to let go where I hold on to stuff when there is an opportunity like that. That's it. That's it. And then the same knowledge will come and stick to us. It will show us the way. Definitely. Yeah. A good question. That's a good question. And that's how Shastra works. It loosens us slowly. Slowly it does. That's the thing.
Because the last Kathopanishad class, I think the last one, there was a sloka talking about the Atma will, and we have mentioned this in other places, Atma will reveal itself kind of thing. So to me, that is a very loaded statement, because when you say reveal means something suddenly a flash will come or something. Maybe that's not, the reveal is not the right translation. Right, by itself. That's how many places it's done. But I know it is not like something flashing will happen.
It's like saying, those computer generated the dot diagrams are there. No? They have a frame where it's all full of dots, white and black dots. That's all there is. It's a poster. It's
pixels.
Pixels, yeah, pixels. It's all there. And then you are supposed to see Meenakshi temple there. I see only black dots and white dots. Nothing. And they say you should look beyond. They say some tricks. And if you focus your eyes on something away, then you will see the picture suddenly it will emerge. Meenakshi temple. Meenakshi will reveal herself. Means what? Means what? Meenakshi will reveal herself. Means when you're ready, she will reveal herself. That is the meaning. That Means what? Means that I'm ready. I'm of course becoming readier and readier every day. And then that's the promise Shastra makes. Premaji, your question.
Anyway, sorry.
Good.
I'm trying to understand the question that he asked was an average killer and Arjuna. What is the difference? Because the action is the same, and Arjuna is getting the benefit of instructions on how to look at it objectively instead of looking at it as a subjective action as a mortal. And how does transformation happen in Arjuna? It happens only through knowledge. It doesn't, and that knowledge comes through the practices of Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. I think that's what I understood what Guruji said. Is that correct? And in the other cases where there are killers who shoot anybody they want, they have revenge, they have many reasons for it, they don't have the awareness or anybody to teach them that this is an action of himsa, and you have to, and they might not be even ready to receive that. The context of Arjuna receiving the thing is for the rest of the world to also understand that we are in a similar position to make adjustments to our lives. So we get that knowledge. Am I coming clear, Mr. Mahesh? I don't know. So Guruji, you can, have I understood the question at all?
Yeah. So we have put the question to rest. And so saying there is obviously a difference between a stray shooter and somebody else whose job it is to protect people, and in the process that person may have to kill people. And Arjuna is no different, really speaking. He just happens to be a very exalted position of having to go to war. It's a national war, and so he's leading that. So in theory, he's no different than the local cop, where there is some violence, local, regional, violence, and they're all there. There's potential fire shots going to be, shot here, and potential killing is going to happen. And both are going to be judged based on context. Based on context. Both are going to be judged. So in that way, I don't see any difference between Arjuna and your local people who are there to protect them. No difference at all. The scale is big. Scale is different. That's all. And whether Arjuna is a jnani or not, he's going to fight the war. Dharma is going to should make him fight the war. Okay, Dharma. And there may have been no Bhagavad Gita teaching at all if he was doing his Dharma. If he was doing his Dharma, he would not have asked the question to Krishna, and this Bhagavad Gita would not have been there at all. And the war is over, and we will talk about the war, etc. But that Akrita Buddhi was not there. To highlight that Akrita Buddhi, that Atma as Akarta is a fact that it is lurking, that ignorance is lurking underneath all that we do. All the dharma, big talk we do about dharma, and this, that family and culture and nation and all talk we do is all, underlying all that is this ajnanam is sitting. It's on a bed of ajnanam. And to bring that out, they have created this context.
And isn't that what
Because
Sri Krishna said?
everything looks good when there's no probing questions, no? When nobody probes us, everything looks good. You are good, I'm good, everybody's fine, everything is okay. Only when you start probing, then suddenly all the muck is coming out, So in psychology, that's how it works.
Isn't that what Sri Krishna says, Jaykumarji, that your shoka itself is a manifestation that you have ajnana? I mean, like raga, shoka, and moha that you are showing now itself is a manifestation. And that's why he starts with the Atma Jnana, is the manifestation is there. And at least if you understand that, you might not have the shoka that, you're doing it for a wrong reason. You're doing it out of attachment. You're doing it because, how can I kill my guru? How can I kill my father-like figures or grandfathers? Like that itself is a manifestation that you're a jnani.
Correct, correct. He highlights that. And so that he brings out the point that Shoka, despite being a very dharmic person, Shoka will not leave us.
So the existential sorrows that he's talking about, this is all about the existential sorrows, that it is day-to-day life also. But for that, you need the jnana. Without that, the existential, why am I existing? Who am I? And things, those kind of questions can be only understood. And if you are a jnani, but maybe they are at that level or not at that level. But that's the goal.
Correct. Any other final comments before we close? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasha Hastaya Sarva Maya Vinashanaya Trilokyanathaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Thank you very much.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guru.
Yeah, we'll meet tomorrow. Upanishad.
Thank you.